This is Joy Lin, and welcome to Superheroic Science here at Comic Book in Manhattan Beach, California. Today we're going to talk about the character Wolverine. His actual superpower is regeneration. Those adamantium claws are really cool, but I have a problem with them. In the movie, they show that they injected adamantium into his body and coated his bones. Who sharpened the blades? Those come out all the way to here and they're super sharp. Now, we know that he had originally these bone blades, but once you coat something, kind of like dipping banana into chocolate, it becomes less sharp, not more sharp. So how did he get those blades? I want to know how that happened. Magic. Now, here's another problem. They come out all the way to here. So when they're not out here ready to hurt people, they are back into his body from here to here. That means his wrist can't move because there are 3 blades right here, like this thick. Kind of makes some things hard to do, if you get what my drift is. Poor Wolverine. I feel really bad for him. People like him because he's handsome and he's always really dark and broody. He is actually not an enigma. My theory is he is suffering from post-traumatic distress. Imagine how much stress your body and your mind would be if you were shot only once. Now think about how many times he's been shot, stabbed, have poles run through him, and flayed. Poor guy. No wonder he's always walking like this. This is why. This is not a mystery at all. This guy needs therapy. Somebody please get him some counseling. Maybe a few pills here and there. And that's just my take on Wolverine. Thank you. My name is Joy Lin. Thank you for joining me at Superheroic Science.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the speaker today. A self-proclaimed super geeky nerd, she is the author of the popular animated series If Superpowers Were Real on TED.com. She was named one of the most inspiring educators in the United States in 2013 by TED-Ed and Innovator of the Year by Texas Classroom Teachers Association in 2014. She has 3 degrees in natural sciences from UT Austin.
Useless.
She is also a working comedian who is not afraid to tackle some taboo subjects, as demonstrated at the 2015 Sacramento Comedy Festival. You may recognize her from her superheroic science segment in the online show Warriors of Wonder, her interview on BBC's Science in Action with Jon Stewart, her repeat guest spots on Science Faction with Robert Timothy, Fox News, KUT News, Time Warner News, AISD Math Institute, TCTA, and in the Austin comedy scene. Please help me welcome Joy Lin.
Thank you. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a dream come true, by the way, being introduced to the podium by Wolverine. Hey, Logan. Does it hurt every time it comes out?
Yo, fuck yourself.
All right, I'm just wondering, why are you so eager to pop them out every time? Because if I were you, I'd be like, you guys know how much this hurts every time it comes out? I know you want to see them, but I wait until the last second when I see some real enemies before I pop this bad boy out. Because ow, every time, ow. He feels the pain every single time it comes out. It's just like, ugh. I would just wait until the last second, like, just hold. Who would want to constantly stab their hands if they don't have to? And in the Wolverine, he got blown up and then his hair grew back to the same length and style that he had before. Even hair gel has superpowers, apparently. You know how older people have longer hair? I'm just wondering what happens when Wolverine gets really old. Like, does he have to braid his eyelashes so they don't get in the way? I'm just imagining really old Wolverine just braiding his eyelashes, like, oh, this sucks. Why can't I get a haircut? And then just putting it behind his ears. Yeah. Anybody younger than 15 here, raise your hand. Man, no, I can't say bad words. Never mind. Okay. I was hoping I would be able to say whatever it is. Okay, so yes, hi, my name is Joy. You can call me the Grinch, as my exes often do, because everybody loves Christmas. But once you date me and I dump you, Christmas is ruined for you. There's no escaping the name Joy in December time. You just go everywhere. It's like Joy, Joy, Joy. They all hate me for it. Or you can call me Joy, the killjoy of dreams, which is what people called me on the internet when my series, If Superpowers Were Real, came out. People called me Joy, the killjoy of children's dreams. You just love crushing their dreams. Excuse me, crushing children's dreams is just a bonus. It's not why I did the series. Now, this series is to point out the issues with superpowers, so maybe one day before I die, I get to float upstairs instead of taking those tiny little chairs. It's really sad. But whatever you want to call me is fine. So we're going to dive right into the series If Superpowers Were Real. If you want to find them, you can Google them online. They're on YouTube and they're on TED-Ed. So we started with Wolverine, who is I think the closest thing to immortality that we have. Unfortunately, we don't really have an immortal character that's very popular in pop culture right now, so we'll go with that.
Immortality. In movies, kings are always searching for the secret to immortality. But is immortality really a good thing? To a 10-year-old boy, 1 year is the same as 10% of his life. To his 40-year-old mother, 1 year is merely 2.5% of her life. The same year, 365 days, can feel differently to different people. If we live until we're 82, that's about 30,000 days. If this boy lives for 30,000 years, a year to him could feel like a day. And if this boy's emotions sustain through the potential boredom of living for millions of years, he might become extremely lonely and sad, knowing he has and always will outlive everyone he has ever loved. But what if everyone were immortal? Well, first off, Earth is only so big, so where would we all live? No, excuse me, no, that's my face. Oh, stop it. Pardon me. Tight in here. Do you remember what you did last year? What about when you were 5? How much of your past have you forgotten? If you're having trouble remembering what you did when you were 5, how will you remember what happened if you were alive 1,000 years ago? 1,000,000 years ago? We don't remember every single detail of our past because our brains have a limited capacity, and we replace useless memories like middle school locker combinations with relevant information. If this immortal boy finds a companion to fall in love with once every 100 years, he would have 10,000 girlfriends in 1,000,000 years. And how many of those 10,000 girls' names will he be able to remember?
Honestly, when you think about it, Wolverine's already fallen in love twice on big screen, right? There's Silver Fox, there's Jean Grey. And it's only been how many years? 100 years? Less than 100. He's going over his quota. He's actually really lucky that he forgot his memory because you have no idea how many ex-girlfriends he just blanked out, right? He's going to run out of body spaces for tattoos. Just imagine if you just get a tiny little tattoo. All right, Jean Grey right here. And then the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. You're going to need skin graphic. We're going to have a little huge issue with that. And I don't know if you guys have the same problem. I have foreign people, not blindness, stigmatism. Sorry, but half y'all look the same to me. It's not that we can't see you. You just kind of all blurred together. Right now in my phone, I have at least 10 mics, and they have all different kinds of nicknames. There's actually a thick neck mic, there's a poker mic, there's a tall mic, there's a skinny mic, there's a whole bunch of different nicknames. What kind of problem would you have if you live longer than 100 years? You want to think about that. Now, if you're like me, you've dated a few people you never want to see again, then after a while, I see some people nodding, that name is just forever ruined for you. For instance, I dated a Dan, a Jim, and a Joseph. Now, every time I go by Dan's Hamburger and Jim's Restaurant or Joe's Coffee, I'm like, damn it, I'm still single. How did this happen? This is horrible, right? Those names are just ruined. I dated Sam once. Huge mistake, okay, because I had to cancel my Sam's membership and switch to Costco. So I wouldn't weep at every pallet of toilet paper, every 10-pound tub of coffee. Huge mistake, right? So for that specific reason, I refuse to date anybody named Austin or Chase. Just because, imagine being dumped by somebody named Chase and you go down the street, Chase, 2 blocks, Chase again, and then 2 more blocks. Why are you everywhere on every corner? You suck. So I'm just gonna stick with dating people with really, really weird names. At least when Sharkeisha breaks my heart, I don't have to stop going to Wendy's because I miss Frosties.
this changes what a meaningful relationship means, doesn't it? Another tricky thing about immortality, human beings have not always looked the same. This can be explained by Darwin's theory of evolution. For instance, if women find taller men more attractive, then more tall men would mate and have children, putting more tall genes in the gene pool. That means in the next generation, more children will have the genes to be taller. Repeat that process for 1,000,000 years, and the average height will be a lot taller than the average height today, assuming there's no natural disaster that wipes out all the tall people. Our ancestors were short, hairy apes. We still have body hair, but we don't look like apes anymore. If you're the only person who is immortal, while everyone else keeps evolving generation after generation, you will eventually look quite different than the people who surround you. Hi, how you doing? If one of our ancestors' apes is still alive today, how many people will make friends with it instead of calling the Museum of Natural History?
Okay, so Darwin's theory of evolution, it doesn't really happen in this generation. It's just at this point in time, at this particular place, there are some traits that are more optimal for this group of people. For instance, let's say it is a fact that Japanese men as a whole are shorter than American men. And as a minority, I can tell you guys, it's not racist to cite statistics. It's okay. It's true that Asian people are shorter, as long as you recognize there's exceptions like the freak of nature that's Yao Ming. And as a woman, I can tell you it is not sexist to say men are generally stronger than women. This is true. As long as you can recognize that, Ronda Rousey can probably kick your ass. So let's go back to the Japan example we're talking about. So it is true that they're shorter, but if you consider the fact that Japan is an island with a lot of earthquakes. Now, when an earthquake happens, taller people have higher center of gravity and shorter people have lower center of gravity. Besides, when things fall down, they fall on the taller people first. By the way, I'm wearing 4-inch high heels. I'm like 5'3", so I will survive in Japan way better than a lot of you. But in a place like Japan, maybe it's not a good thing to be tall. Let's just say every time there's an earthquake, it wipes out more tall people than short people. Then over generations and generations and generations, it would make sense that them as a whole would be shorter. And this is what I meant by this.
Ugh. And one more physical consideration for immortality: scars. After all, immortality doesn't automatically translate to invincibility. It just means you cannot die. But it doesn't guarantee what condition you'll be alive in. So, look at your body and count how many scars you have. If you have made this many permanent scars within your life, imagine how much damage you would have if you were 1,000 years old. Now, there are approximately 185,000 amputation-related hospital discharges every year in the U.S. These injuries are due to accidents or illnesses. Certainly, the percentage is low comparing to the total population if you only live for 100 years. However, if you've been alive for over 1,000,000 years, the odds of still having all your limbs are pretty slim. What about little accessories like your eyes, your nose, your ears, fingers, or toes? What about your teeth? What are the odds of you keeping your dental health for 100 years? 1,000 years? 1,000,000 years? You might end up looking like a horribly scuffed up Mr. Potato Head with missing pieces and dentures. So, are you sure you want to live forever?
Each one of these can only be about 5-6 minutes long, so I had to cut out a lot of content. There are a lot of people right now whose dead bodies were never retrieved. They are sometimes in the bottom of a ditch, under a landslide, somewhere, maybe in the bottom of the ocean. Now, if you were immortal and you were stuck in that kind of situation, you don't die? I'd rather die. I don't know about you. I don't want to be buried underneath a mountain. I mean, I don't want to cut off my own arm with a knife. That's just scary when you think about that. And then it was explained to me the reason why they couldn't use Mr. Potato Head is copyright.